Welcome back to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast, where today's guest, we have none other than the Aztec warrior himself, Carlos Gutierrez.
The edge. Gonna try, he's got it. Record time. Donnell Pumphrey smashes the record. On the return, it's Rashad Penny. And Penny finds a seam. Penny to the outside. Penny will go the distance. First and goal. Fake to Penny. Open man. Wells. He leads. He gets the ball. And they say touchdown San Diego State.
Down here, since I'm on the Zoom interview
Months Aztec war. The politically correct Aztec war.
Here we go. Count it down here in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Carlos, this is awesome to have you here, man.
Thank you
This is
for
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great time. We can't believe it. Aztec season's within a few weeks.
Serious, man. Are you pumped up for this Aztec Fast Sean Lewis era?
It's going to be amazing. You know, I hear he's a great guy, great coach. You know, he's got a lot of great energy. So that's going to be pretty awesome. I've been hearing some good positive things from him.
We need it, man. We need it. Got to
Yes,
get back in the winning ways. Like, it's crazy to think this last decade or so has been like one of the greatest eras of Aztec football.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the Coryell, like, man, Rocky Long did an amazing job. And then Brady Hoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one who kind of did the resurgence of Aztec football. And now Sean Lewis, man. I'm excited. Tell me, man, I see you everywhere. Obviously, the shirt. I mean, you are arguably the most visible, dare I say, iconic, Aztec warrior. I mean, for real, we'll get into it, man. And
you talk about almost 30 years.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Man. And I mean, people know who you are, but real estate developer, an SDSU alum. So this runs deep. Of course.
Here's the thing: I did not graduate from San Diego State. I was hired. I was hired in the 90s, 1990, when I first started. 5 days before the first football game.
Okay.
I was working at Juvenile Hall.
No
my
way.
My dad got me an interview there with a friend of ours that ran the school, and I was supposed to be a teacher and a coach per my high school counselor. So I thought I'd go that way, and then I figured that out after about 3 years working in education. I go, maybe that's not going to be it. So I thought it was going to be a fireman, and then I figured, no, it was sales. It took a little bit of time, but give that a little bit of some thought, and that's what I've been doing. We're all selling something, so I got into sales and started getting coached and learned a lot. And it's really about the personalities that you work with, and really asking great questions to see where those people are and where they want to go, and you help them through that process.
I never knew that. Never knew that, Carlos.
Yeah.
You coming in being hired at State?
Yeah, I was hired. Yeah.
It was for the position of
Monty Montezuma.
Monty Montezuma.
They did on Q106 back in the days. I mean, that was a great station. They were doing interviews and this and that. And my friend's mom was the athletic director's assistant.
Okay.
And they said, hey, I think you'd be perfect. Come in and meet. I met Jane Hancock and Reggie Blaylock, and they're all like, Monty, what's up? I rolled in, it's back in the mullet days. I had a flat top mullet, probably about, 15 pounds lighter than now, but it was amazing. And I saw what the uniform they had, and I go, this really, it was a mishmash of North American stuff. And, I really took upon myself to really elevate that level. I wanted to be more original. So the next year I changed it up, got some more of the gold, and really toned down that whole uniform they had before. We can send you some photos on that. You could see it, and it was interesting. But back in the day, that was a flaming spear. That was not politically questioned at all. And till later, nevertheless, it was something that people loved. Bring that out. Monty came out of the tunnel with a flaming spear, and do a dance and then throw it in front of the other team. It was pretty awesome.
See, you're talking what year was that?
1990.
1990.
Yep.
So as I was telling you before off air, you know, my father was an associate AD all throughout like the 70s, 80s. Then obviously his time ended there. So we started really going back to those games after maybe taking a couple years away. And yeah, dude, that's iconic. I remember it vividly. The fire, the firing spear. I mean, it was maybe one of the best pageantry openings, however you want to say, traditions in college football that you're ever going to see out there.
You see Tommy Trojan, and then you know you have the Florida Seminole. I don't know if there's anything else more that was probably as spectacular as coming out with the flaming spear. And I mean, I would light that thing, and it was a bonfire. It was a blast at the end of a spear.
I love that though. I mean, the fact that you get hired for that position, and everything that's gravitated towards that throughout the decades. And now we're here at this point, right? Which is no secret. Everybody knows there's no mascot for the school.
Well, and you know, it just goes to the political realm that's taken on since, you know, the early 2000s. And that's when I played the role of Monty Montezuma officially from 1990 to 1998. And then I retired, and they brought another gentleman to come in and take my place. They never allowed me to coach him, talk to him, give him education on the background of what he's wearing, how to, you know, carry yourself, the things you could speak upon, from the chachayotes, you know, that you'd wear around your ankles, to what the design on the uniform meant, and even what the skull meant, and on the headdress. So that's when political correctness came in, and people were offended. 2000, that's when they killed Monty Montezuma officially. Came out with the Ambassador Montezuma immediately after that, in a small group. And that's when the internet was just starting to really emerge, and they had chats and things like that. And I got word that they were looking for Monty, or they were looking for me or Chris, who played it. Chris Snook played it there at the end. And this guy was going to be willing to pay for someone to come out and be Monty again. And our first meeting of getting together and talking about this was a big group here. We were at this exact spot in 2001 talking about it. Like literally like right here. And
Shout out McGregor's.
And I was sitting like almost like right here going, guys, Monty is dead. We can't resurrect Monty. It's got to be something iconic, and it's got to be something at the highest level of what Monty represented. And he represented power, strength, valor, iconicness. And I go, guys, it's got to be the Aztec Eagle Knight Warrior. And that is what we're going to name our foundation. And because we were talking about that, going, guys, you got to create a 501c3. It has to be official. We've got to be able to raise money, to donate money back to university. We have to show that we care for the university, not just through money, but the actions that you take, the things you try to do, and what we're doing it for. Why do we give money? Because it's to help those kids get an education, go back to what we, you know, going through college experienced. And that's why people give money, and they sponsor, and they love going to Aztec football and bringing their kids or their grandkids or their great-great-kids. You know, you look at a Tom Abels, and you see guys like that forever, never missed a game at all. You know, that is amazing. When you can be around that, that is power. And that is like community, and it's love for the school and for what it represents.
It really is, man. It was such a void this year at the Final Four, when you saw a lot of the graphics and you know, the mascots on the court. And then I look over at the Final Four out there in Houston, and I see Carlos there representing, showing up, making the effort, spending the money to get out there.
Totally. It was not cheap, you know, and I did it all on my own. I brought my family out there. We had a great time, because I was with my good friend Phil from Phil's Barbecue. We were at a political event up in Napa that weekend, and I was there with Dinesh D'Souza. I don't know if you ever heard of the guy. Amazing Dinesh, and he just walked in because he was a speaker that night, and I was there last week. I go, Dinesh, I'm a big fan. I'm not a fan of a lot of people. I shook his hand. His wife goes, 36 seconds left. I need a prayer here. Come on, let's hold hands. And they won. And I called my wife, going, all right, book our tickets. I'll be back tomorrow. We're flying out Monday.
Incredible.
And that was the game. And I brought my daughter, and she loved it. She never saw Monty or the Aztec Warrior in action. And she was there in Houston, and it was insane. She was like, that's my dad. She was like, whoa. Like it opened her eyes to what we're doing. So it just kind of get a tear, because that was amazing to see that, because there was 73,000 fans at that arena. That was insane. And being outside was awesome. You know, it was cool, because that whole huge venue, I mean, it was a major event.
I mean, it really was an opportunity. And I feel, you know, from the Sons of Montezuma, and I'll be honest with you, Carlos, like our group our team, not everybody feels the same way about the Warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the same you could say you
The
poll
majority,
anybody.
Majority, yeah, totally. Probably 98%,
Yeah.
99%.
I've tried to poll people at games and just, hey, what do you think? Where do you stand?
Right.
And I mean, the vast majority of the fans want it back.
Yeah. Oh,
they want the Warrior back.
Completely.
But within us and Sons of Montezuma, I mean, not everybody feels the same. Some people are kind of, it's not the biggest deal to them, but some people are very fervent about it, right?
Yeah.
They want it back. But from our perspective, it's like the school, they're really missing an opportunity. They're missing a big opportunity, not only to just have that representation in the college sports world, but I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, I'm of Mexican descent.
Yep, I am too. So, you take a look at that, and it is, you have to just bring it back as close to going 500 years back. You're going to bring it close to, and it's representing, but it's also not letting that culture die as well. You're promoting it to the highest level, the best you can. We can always do better. It's always failing forward and having a great time in the short life that we have.
Yeah.
So why take it away from so many tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of alumni that want it? Is my thought.
Where does it stand right now? Because I remember when the current president, De La Torre, came in, there was like an announcement or a push, and maybe you guys could fact check me on this, that there was going to be new iconography, there was going to be new logos or some kind of representation, and then it seemed like nothing has come from it.
I'm
haven't
not
seen
exactly
anything,
sure. I haven't seen anything either, other than taking away, and that's it. So unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of that go around. The schools and the colleges now. It's that wokeness that's coming in.
Yeah,
and people are so offended in the smallest words or thoughts or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's sad. It gets really political that way. However, you know what? First Amendment right is freedom of speech and representation as well. So you do the best you can as long as it's not hurting somebody or taking away from them. I don't know what the Aztec Warriors taking away from anybody. They have the right to look at it or not.
Taking away my heritage.
Yeah, exactly. Our heritage, which is power, strength, knowledge. I mean, you ever go down to Teotihuacan in Mexico City? That's amazing. You're looking at actual real history right there. And the plan is for the Aztec Warrior Foundation, that's why we're raising more money, is for the educational aspect, not only just the scholarships that we've created. And a very, very generous friend of ours, and to San Diego and to San Diego State, made a very nice donation. We have 3 years of scholarships of $10,000 per year, which is $5,000 per semester for the right student to play the role as the Aztec Warrior and be the potential spokesperson for the university on a global level. If you really look at it, this university could take this to the next level on the globalness of regards to San Diego, America, and Mexico. You look at this area, it's so small, in how many Mexicans are here and there on the border. I mean, millions upon millions. And so the plan is to take the Aztec Warrior and a small group of Aztecs down every year to go down and do the tour of Templo Mayor, which is right down there in Zocalo, and then go to Teotihuacan out there to the pyramids of the moon, the sun, and go experience that. But when you go into the town and the cities, you see that, and all over Mexico, they have Aztec warriors dancing in the streets every day of their heritage and culture and teaching and educating people in regards to the Mexican culture. And it's powerful. However, they're not recognizing that here at San Diego State, which is a major miseducation of what they could be doing. That's my thought. It's only my thought, not the Aztec Warriors thought of the foundation, but that's my thought. And that's why I do it. That's why I put my time, energy, my money, and this is all volunteer. Yeah. And it's for the fans, it's for the people, it's for, our culture. And why not? Why can't we promote it?
I don't think I have any eligibility for that scholarship, but that sounds awesome. Yeah. And we're talking about the scholarship that the Aztec Warrior, the Warrior Foundation is creating. And, one of my questions to some of your guys, your founders, which you are a part of, was, okay, what is the mentality if the Warrior is never brought back, right? Because this is the foundation, it's the nonprofit that you guys have built. That's the mission, that's the goal, to get it reinstated. Mm-hmm. But what happens if that never happens officially, right? It sounds like you guys are set up for the long haul, and through this scholarship, it's a way to keep the Warrior alive. Yeah. Maybe not in an official capacity that's recognized by, the school, but amongst the students. Mm-hmm. What's the mentality with that?
Well, basically, we're here, in the Aztec culture, we're known to fight is Aztecs. You fought and you took over other, tribes and things like that until they got wiped out. But still, we're still here, Mexicans. You take a look at that. So the mentality is we're in for the long haul. And my idea really is the Aztec warrior would allow San Diego State to basically adopt the Aztec warrior, but not officially own it in the sense, because when that happened last time, it was just one more job for those guys in the marketing department to do. They didn't really do a lot with it. They didn't get them educated. They didn't really teach them what to do, interpersonal, communication and speaking and things like that, that I saw or heard. They didn't want me to do anything. So with that said, we're not going away. We're here to win. And we remember all these people are at that level are pretty much, hired people to come in. They're not Aztecs for life.
Right.
They're not like what you grew up and with what I grew up and living here for all our lives and breathing and eating and sleeping Aztec education, sports, whatever you want to talk about.
The San Diego State culture. I mean, it's such a big, with my family, it's such a big, how do you say, just a big presence. I mean, I grew up right across the street from the university.
That's awesome.
Pops
Not a lot of
worked
people did that, but a lot of people came into San Diego from around the country and the world, and now they live here full time, and they love it, and they've adopted it. Like our friend Jeff Malik, he's not in big football, but his family was a part of it.
Yeah.
So it got a part of it, and then you have Vinny. I mean, these guys are, and he's an Aztec, but still small group. Amazing what a small couple people can do, and the power if you have that energy, enthusiasm, and that belief, and that I used to call it desire the fire.
Yeah.
And
Aztec fire, man.
That's it. When you have that, you can do anything. And when you're going up against some people that are completely on the other side, that feel offended or feel that you're taking away, and when you see that, you go like, okay, that's your right to feel that. We feel that we are bringing back something historically correct to the most iconic way that we can do it, and bringing smiles to people's faces and making them feel good and having a great time. Hey, it's entertainment in a way.
Having fun.
That's the most important part. And why not? When you see the majority, 98, 99% want it and donate money and be a part of it and go to the events, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do something additive to the culture of college sports?
I think sometimes we forget, we get wrapped up in all the, of
BS.
course, the politics, the dignified, responsibilities of being an educator and being a university, but all that stuff taken into account. You want to have fun. I mean, this is a college experience, all the fun that can be had with it. And you were the Warrior for a long time, man.
A long time. 98, bro.
I've heard some stories of, what are some stories that traveling around? Because I hear one in particular. My good friend Mike told a lot on a podcast. He tells me about a Wyoming trip.
Dude,
and how cold it was in Wyoming, and you were out there as the Warrior. I'm hoping to make that trip to Wyoming football game this year.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah, and Wyoming's beautiful, and I really had no idea. It's vast, wide open country. We showed up. We were trying to, we're in a big bus, and it was cold. Yeah, and we watch out for the black ice. Black ice, what's that? Driving, and then when we got there, we had a big dinner. And that next day, I was like, oh geez, okay, this is going to be pretty chilly. So I got Vaseline, and so I was Vaselined up, and he was a young kid at that time. And that's when Marshall Faulk was playing, and it was pretty muddy out there, but it was cold. So. I took the jacket off for a little bit. I was wearing loincloth and stuff, took the flaming spear out there, stuck it as best in that mud that I could, slipping around. I went in the stands. You got to keep moving. The other one would be the Wind Bowl. I think it was 98, I want to say.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Yeah. Oh, you got out of I remember getting out of the car, snapped 3 feathers. Just I was like, okay. So
that game was crazy. The ball kept falling off the tee when they would try to kick off.
Kicking went backwards,
crazy.
But that game was windy. I mean, it was cold, and you had to keep moving. If you stopped, you're going to be an icicle. So that was a great
loincloth down.
Man.
Yeah,
you just keep running, man. Don't let them catch you. But the fans were all about it. They were having a great time, even though we lost that game. But it was so much fun though for the first half. I'm going, this is going to be a long game. So got to keep running. That's it. Keep moving and giving as much energy as you can. And it's tough when you're not winning.
Yeah. Boy, those teams in the 90s when they weren't winning, there was a lot of scuffles back in those days. I remember fights against Fresno State, Miami. Of course, you know I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
That Miami game
Yeah.
and The Rock charging.
You know,
Everybody tries to say he charged up the stairs.
yeah,
at
he
you.
didn't charge up there. You watch that on YouTube. They got a 1992, and that was a couple of big brawls in that game.
Yeah,
but it was a blast. You know, it was a great time. I was in the stands just swinging my flag. I'm going around, you know. So, but he still talked about it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
But that was a great game, though, and I'll never remember the Fresno State one because I was on 10 or it was the Mighty 690 back in the day. They were interviewing me a couple times, and we got on with the coach from Sweeney, I think it was. Sweeney, and we were going back and forth, and it was good college sports. But you know, they were ready to go.
That was huge.
I brought my flaming spear on that side, and they had like manure that they were going to be throwing at me apparently, and I was told don't go too close. So I went just far enough, and I just taunted them with the flaming spear. But that I think it was when the first quarter when they late hit on David Lowry, and that's when the helmet started coming off and it was going down. I would just put my back to the wall, going, "Okay, I'm watching."
I remember that helmets were swinging.
Yeah.
Like it was maybe the most wild brawl I've seen in college football.
It was.
I got to pick that conversation up with David Lowry, man. We got to get him back on.
Oh yeah, come on.
We had him one time at the opening game at Snapdragon. We might have to make that happen.
Oh yeah, Dave, great guy, man. We had so many good times, definitely. So yeah, and that's so many other opportunities open up after being Monty and thinking about that and working with David. You know, when he was going to school there too. And
how do you make that jump? How do you make that jump from Aztec Warrior to now real estate and everything you're doing in real estate, man?
Well, I got into radio. So I really started out. I was brought in to do Monty through a friend, and then I was doing Monty, and then I got into doing some modeling and acting and stuff like that, and then I got brought over to Anheuser-Busch and was doing some stuff marketing wise for Anheuser-Busch.
Nice, yeah.
And then we did the world's largest World Cup viewing down at the convention center in 1994. And I met a friend there who I knew, and he was in radio, in Spanish language radio. So I interviewed with him, and I started selling Spanish language radio.
Wow.
And then I jumped over to J-Core, then Clear Channel, and worked with those guys in sales. And it just it got really corporate. And I wasn't really too much of the corporate. I wanted to be able to do what I want to do. And I learned, though, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to do it like your life depends on it. So I got fired at Clear Channel in 2004.
Okay.
And then it was a great time. However, it was the best thing that ever happened. And, when you get fired, you always have another opportunity as long as you see it that way. And that's how I then jumped into real estate. I just sold a condo a year before, and I always thought about it. And we owned some real estate, buying and holding. And I'm going I think I could do this. It would be a blast, and then started learning. And then I got a coach, and then I learned how to really operate. And, it's something that you're unemployed every day. If you look at it, that mindset, you come from a place of zero every day. You got to start over. That's when you work harder.
Yeah.
And that's, where the opportunity came in, where I still played the Aztec Warrior. We brought it back in 2002 and played it till 2004 unofficially. And then that's when the university adopted it in 1994. And like 96% wanted it, Aztec Athletic Foundation, alumni, and the students. And that just took it to the next level. So I just started, you got to work hard for what you want. Mm-hmm. And we then built a new uniform, and I still was doing 50 events a year. And I was still working and jumped over, took a little time off, but then I jumped to real estate, and it was great. And it was perfect because 2005, 2006, I had more time. We handed it off as the Aztec Warrior, and the Aztec Warrior went all the way to 2021.
Yeah.
So Adela then basically wiped it off her website, and then we tried bringing it back. And then luckily Vinny and Jeff came in with my good friend Mike, and we really banded together and started small grassroots. I mean, it's not easy, and especially when you're getting harassed by the stadium staff there, not letting you in. Where's your staff?
I've
Where's
seen
your
it.
feathers? You can't go here. You can't do this. And, okay, totally get it. I understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially here. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed up from pubes to bun. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, this could be your smoothest summer yet. Is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys cool while you look hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use this promo code SUNS20. Inside the package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And Manscaped even threw in 2 extra gifts to the Performance Package 5.0, Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is their 5th generation trimmer, so they've got it dialed down to a science. And right now with that promo code SUNS20, make sure you save that 20% off plus the free shipping and the 2 extra gifts. You can't beat it for summer to stay cool and look hot. Remember that. Manscaped.com. Take advantage of it today. How does that feel, man? Knowing that you're trying to do here, you guys as a group, you're trying to do something that's beneficial for the student athletes, the students, the fan base, the university themselves, and it's not reciprocated. It's not appreciated.
You know, and that goes back to
that's rough.
What we dealt with, you know, during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, people are just doing their job. I'm just doing my job. Yeah. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that, and kind of being not nice about it. But the way that you just go, hey, I understand, you know, sometimes you get a little frustrated, but hey, I understand what you're doing, but hey, I got a ticket. I'm here. I'm not to hurt anybody. I'm here to promote San Diego and San Diego State. And I understand you're doing your job. However, I'm doing my job as well. So let's do this together.
Yeah.
So, and I know you're getting paid to do your job, and you're getting, you know, calls from Adela or whatever, just like the Mountain West basketball tournament. Mountain West basketball tournament, my wife and I showed up, you know, and the Aztec Warrior Foundation, you know, sent us there to have a great time to promote San Diego, get them on the, you know, get more action on TV and seeing, hopefully they could do another run to the NCAAs.
Yeah.
So the first game we showed up in uniform and they said, no, you're not allowed in here. I'm like, really? Wow. Okay. I want to talk to the manager and I want to see your code of conduct because I've got a ticket right here. You will let me in. So he came back 20 minutes later and said, okay, we're going to let you in. Just don't go by the president. I go, I don't even know where she's sitting. What if you want to give me your seat? I'll go say hi. So we had a great time, you know, and my wife is the kindest ever because she was basically looking there and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we should go get you a shirt or go get some shorts. I go, I'm not going anywhere. So
get her a Sons of Monty t-shirt.
Yeah.
Get her Sons of Monty. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what we're doing at Sons of Monty?
I think it's awesome. You know, it's promoting university. You guys are San Diego based. What if you're not doing something about what you love? Then what are you doing?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's people want it, and if they didn't, then they wouldn't support you.
It's true.
Would they?
I think one of the first posts I had out there, somebody they saw Sons of Montezuma and they commented. I can't remember what platform. They were like, "Is Carlos your daddy?"
Yeah. Hey.
I don't know if that's how they sounded when
I'll
they
be your
said
brother.
it,
I'll be
but
your
it was
brother,
like,
man. Hey.
Sons of Montezuma is Carlos your daddy?
We're brothers together, man.
It's like,
That's
man, Sons of Montezuma. You know, it's I don't know how anybody could be offended by this. I mean, it's a skull.
Well, and that
we're all
represents
the
life.
same skull, right?
It represents life. That's life right there, you know, and that's when you see the different uniforms. We had that uniform in 1996, 98, and it was a skull, just all glass, and it was beautiful. So those are the things that you learn, and you can educate people. So, you know what, like, hey, not everybody's going to agree with what you believe and I believe in, but when you have the majority on your side of believing it and wanting it and donating money or spending money or buying your gear, talking about you, promoting you, go for it. Why not? You know, I mean, look at what we're dealing with right now in politics here with our presidents, you know, but when you see people out there wearing the gear, talking about it, promoting it, and they're behind it, there's passion. There's a lot of smart people out there, and maybe not some, but do your education, learn more about it. What are you guys behind? You know, Aztec, San Diego State, you're promoting it. You're helping that university, which goes beyond just the university itself. It goes on to the life you lived before going to school, now the culture, your kids, maybe your grandkids going to San Diego State. And that's iconicness right there when you see that. And people want that. It's powerful, you know, and diehard, you know, like Vinny's kids go there and he loves it and it makes him feel so much more passionate. And that's what a lot of people go through right now. And they want that for their kids and their family. That's alumni.
So for these prospective scholarship earners, right? Because they're going to earn this scholarship. Whoever is going to wear this beautiful headdress, carry the spear, and, you know, execute those whether it's engagements or performances or whatever it may be that you guys are going to be asking through this scholarship, what are you looking for in these students? Because they are going to be students. So what are you guys looking for?
That's a great question. Well, we want somebody obviously that can play the part, and that's being able to public speaking, as well as going to be going to San Diego State, that is physically fit, that can somewhat fill that part of an Aztec warrior. It's more than just putting on a uniform. And from there, they have to keep their GPA up at least, I think, 3.5. We're hoping at least that. We're going to do everything we can to give them the best experience at San Diego State. However, it's being able to, show up on time, understand what you're talking about, and learning more about the culture as well of the Aztecs. And our plan is to take, and that's my plan at least, is to take them down to Mexico City and do that experience. And hopefully on an annual basis, because I think we'll gain more notoriety as well as more donors, as well as people wanting to go on these trips. That's an Aztec trip. I mean, just think about that. And go down and go to Mexico City, and we'll have our own tour guide that's down there, knows it. It'll be safe and it'll be beautiful. So I offered this to San Diego State 5 years ago when Jim Herrick was there. And I said, my wife and I will give a $5,000 scholarship per year to take the Aztec warrior down there and give them the experience that they will learn and carry on, and it'll make them feel so proud as well for what they're doing here in San Diego. And the world will see it, especially through the power of social media and video, and maybe bring a TV station down, or we'll invite them. It'd be a big to-do. And it's not that far away. It's not that expensive. You got a CBX to Mexico City. It's probably like $200-300 ticket. Maybe you can get them down round trip. It'd be an amazing experience, 3 days, and get the full experience. I mean, there's a lot to see. There's so much history there.
I think that's the key word, the experience.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it's all about.
You learn from experience. So to be able to do that would be amazing. Amazing. But this is good stuff, man. I love it. I love hearing all about it. The work you guys have been doing. You say grassroots. I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen the representation out there at the games, and just, people want it. I don't know what the explanation was for why it was taken away, but Vinny's saying we also have plans to do community events,
which we've done.
Town.
We've already attended some community events. 92123 Day. They have different parades. They have different things.
ALS.
Yeah, we did that. We did the ALS fundraiser as well.
And all that.
There's all kinds of different stuff. Yeah, we were there. That was pretty huge as well. Coach Fisher, was there, and the whole gamut. It was the whole basketball team was there as well. Yeah. So more engagement will happen. I mean, last year was our first year official Aztec Warrior Foundation again, and the plan is to find that student sooner than later. At age 55, I got to hang it up sometime in that sense. So it keeps you in shape and always keeps you sharp. However, it's just one of those things that you got to keep moving.
I did want to ask you about that because, I mean, what do you say to some of those people who kind of look at what you are doing as like the spokesman for the foundation? Obviously, you're able to put it on. You're still able to carry it and put it on. And I mean, geez, that's hats off to you, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
But what do you say to some of those people who say, "Oh, he's just putting it on. He's just doing it for selfish reasons, or he just wants to be the center of attention, or as if you're not doing it for the right cause or the right reason."
Exactly.
What do you have to say?
You do it for the people. You do it for the fans. I have an opportunity to promote San Diego State, promote the Aztec culture, promote the Aztec Warrior Foundation, and bring a lot of smiles to a lot of people's faces, and kids as well, and they love it. So with that said, hey, I'm volunteer. You can do whatever you want to do, but hey, sticks and stones will break my bones. That's why I tell Bella, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever bounces off me sticks to you. So I do that with my daughter. So it's the same thing. You know what? We all have, thoughts, and people speak out in that way. But, just go like, hey, there's going to be haters everywhere, and you're not doing your job right unless you have haters. So it's one of the things. And, going back to university, I know Adela, she won't take my calls. She won't talk to me. She won't look at me, trying to use lawlessness against us, not to be able to go into certain venues and do that. That's not right there. So I feel what we're doing is on the right side of what people want in San Diego. And, not everybody has to like it, just the majority, and they want it. And that's why we're doing it. We feel that. I mean, and you have some very successful people that are a part of this Aztec Warrior Foundation and that have been donating as well. If they weren't that smart, they wouldn't be doing what we're doing. And they feel that San Diego State needs that, especially what we're going through right now.
There's two things I want to touch on. You let me know if you're not comfortable talking about them. One is if I were to get the counter argument for this position on the Warrior, talking to somebody who's against it, I don't know who that person is. All the, like I said, Mexican Americans, I know they love it.
Yep.
So I don't know who that person would be, but they're obviously against it to where the school feels they need to take that position as well.
Mhm.
I know there were a couple different figures on campus years ago when they
Right.
tried to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you say as far as maybe some of those indigenous groups that feel it's offensive? I know obviously here in San Diego, there's a big presence here, right?
Native
With
Americans.
Native Americans.
And they feel that
Is it coming from them?
No,
though,
not
or
at
is
all.
it coming
No,
from
no.
something else?
It's coming from the wokeness out there, and I'm
Okay.
telling you, the wokeness is where it's at. It's the political venue that you can't take identity. You can't play someone else's role. But wait a second, I'm
Right.
Mexican. How can you say that I can't do this?
Right.
The university president's the one that did it single-handedly. That's her single-handedly. So she feels that it's not right to be able to portray this in a human right, is what we feel. She won't answer a question.
So we
She
don't
didn't
really
say
even know
anything.
clearly
No.
what the exact argument
Nope,
is, or
exactly.
is it just
no? She won't speak on it because she knows that it's not right what she's doing. She's just got the power to do it. But if you go to the tribes
Mhm.
here locally and ask them, they don't want it to be taken away, because what do you think when they take it away? They're trying to take away the culture.
Mm.
They're trying to not talk about the past. They're not trying to talk about the history.
Right.
And that's why I talk to a lot of my friends that are part of these tribes here, because I always ask them, I want to know, what is the tribe? They don't want it to be taken away because you're starting to chip away and take away their identity, take away their culture. You take that away from them, you strip them of their soul, and you strip them what they believe in. So, I mean, that's the part that I have spoke to a lot of people from those tribes and asking them that. Did I ask everybody? No.
Sure.
But when you can feel that energy of all these people wanting pictures and, not so many autographs, but photos with you, I mean, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
People love it. Bringing their kids over and things like that,
Yeah.
So that's part of the deal. And then when the president won't even look at you or talk to you, going, what's wrong with that? Why not? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. So that's one of the things. So JD, we'd love to hear from JD Wicker and hear what, the football team and athletics could use. I'm sure they could use more positive marketing as well, especially when they're not winning. And the Aztec Warrior can help that and elevate that exposure as well. However, he's under the finger and thumb of Adela, and is all the employees there, and they can't go, and even the football coaches, they can't take pictures and go on social media with me in uniform, especially. But it's tough sometimes, even when it's Carlos Gutierrez, for what I represent. Yeah. Freedom of speech, that's it. Number one, that's what I believe in completely. However, the Aztec Warrior is an amazing, iconic piece to San Diego and San Diego State. So why not promote it? You have a great opportunity for marketing exposure. And, there's talks of here, maybe a new arena, hopefully. We'll see what happens with that. But, I know San Diego State can only use positive exposure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said, man. Well said. From what I understand, the scholarship is open to male or female representatives. I thought I heard back in the day, Saweetie. I don't know if you're familiar with Saweetie, the musical artist. She was an Aztec. I believe she transferred to USC eventually, and now she's blowing up right
That's
on
great.
the songs. She actually tried to be an Aztec Warrior representative back in the day. Yeah, that's the talk that I heard.
Cute?
Oh, she's beautiful. She is gorgeous.
Well,
She would
I
have
wasn't
been.
a part of it then. I said, perfect. I could use a counterpart.
Oh
then,
my
so
goodness,
come on,
she
so.
would have been an amazing representation
Yeah.
for the Aztec Warriors. So yeah, I mean that opportunity is available. That's really cool to hear for a male or a female.
Oh yeah, why not?
I mean,
and I would love to have them both.
Yeah.
I think that would just definitely represent San Diego
That'd be so
State
unique.
completely. And we did that for a couple games during this last NCAA. We had a friend of ours that I had an extra uniform.
Yeah.
And she did a great job. And I think it would be huge for San Diego State, on a PR standpoint,
Sure.
to have that and promote it. I mean, why not? I mean, just think of what you could do marketing wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be awesome.
Well, that's awesome. You guys are creating this opportunity through the Aztec Warrior Foundation. For more information, you guys just need to go there. Check out the AztecWarriorFoundation.com. All the work that Carlos, Vinny, Jeff, all you guys are doing behind the scenes to make this happen. A lot of support. Sons of Montezuma, like I said, we all feel differently, but you definitely have our support.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We're behind this 100%. I think it really stands out to me when, some of your guys came out personally on a personal level and shown their support with us. attended some of our watch party events.
You
like
gotta
that goes
do-
a long
we were up
ways.
there. At
It
the,
really does.
We were up there in Miramar.
Yeah,
That that was huge. Alesmith, those guys are awesome too.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's
yeah.
a great venue. Nevertheless, we have to band together because you get
Yes.
things done in unity, and when
Community.
and
Absolutely.
with that, and you just see some of the stuff that happens. Like during COVID, they were trying to still separate everybody, but when people band together, that's when you have community, and that's when you have more actionable force together.
Yeah.
And especially when you believe in something as well so
Yeah.
passionately, especially the Aztecs in San Diego. I mean, that's how can you not support San Diego State Aztecs unless you're Triton or USD or what are those? That's cool too, but they're San Diego as well.
Sea lion or something.
Yeah,
What is
so
that?
that's okay. But when you have an iconic Aztec warrior like that, Eagle
Yeah.
Knight warrior, so many things they could do with it. And they didn't do it in the past really as much, but they could take that on to the next level on a global level, really. So yeah, it's great. A great opportunity.
Well, let's get it going. Let's get the word out, guys. Carlos, I'm sure we could do this another time. Maybe talk some football, or
Yeah, well,
as things progress with your guys'
season.
mission and what you're doing. And
it always helps when we're winning. So friends, come out and
Big time.
support San Diego State. It's great. The venue's amazing out there at Snapdragon. And even on the road, there's some great road games as well. So let's just have fun. And the San Diego State fans are a blast.
do you feel comfortable talking about Mr. Pierce?
Fred Pierce,
I
very
wanted
good
to
friend.
bring up
Thank you.
Mr. Pierce because when I heard the news of his passing, we didn't get a chance to properly address it on the pod. We had a chance to meet him a few times, and just what a
He was
big time supporter,
go-giver.
genuine
He was a
dude.
Go-giver. I mean, I've known him for 20 some years. And, he attended our wedding, my wife and I's wedding with her daughter, Riley, and she took all the great photos and just great human being. Great.
Yeah.
And Christine is so strong and powerful. And I love her. My wife loves her. She's amazing. Together, they did a lot for San Diego State and still are, and that's one of the things. And it really, luckily I haven't lost a lot of friends. I lost my dad in 2020 and this and that, but the things that hit you, like going, God, you knew him so well. And personally, we traveled together. We had a great time. And, he's in real estate as well. And I am, and he was doing so amazing. That just brings it back to this life is so short and you got to enjoy it. So why are we doing things like this, like Adela's doing to the Aztec Warrior? Why not let people enjoy it? And yeah, you know what? If you don't like it, you don't have to touch it. You don't have to see it. You don't have to do anything. You just go, okay, take that and move on. But Fred was behind it 110%, even recently, even though Adela, because he gave so much money, he didn't want to politically ruin anything, but he was supporting us. And I'll say that now because God rest his soul, amazing man. He did what was right. And he did it, and he was even willing to help out more. Because we're looking for, I always want the bigger scholarship to see if we can get better people to step up and see, well, look what they're doing, because we really want to push this next level of really that Aztec Warrior being out at a lot of events, speaking engagements, and really fine-tune them to be an amazing human being by learning how to communicate as well as how to represent San Diego State at a higher level. And that's my feeling. That's mine, not the foundation, but that's mine.
Yeah.
No less. $10,000 a year, that's pretty big.
Absolutely.
In trade to be an iconic person representative in San Diego, that's a lot to offer. So we're looking for that right person. And if you're, if you think you're the person, AztecWarriorFoundation.com, Instagram, Aztec Warrior Foundation, Facebook. We're here. You can reach out to me. I'm Carlos Nonstop on Instagram. And we're looking for somebody. I need somebody to take this over soon, so because there's a lot of games, and you try to hit everything you can do, and I try to spend more time with my daughter and my wife. I love to give back. I give back, a lot of charity in San Diego. And that's one of the things we want this student to take it, bring that energy, enthusiasm, and love for San Diego. So we're fitting that right person. That would be amazing. And I would love him to be from Mexico or descendants of Mexicans. I'd love that, to play that role, because it's a great opportunity to be able to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and grow from that. Because I got thrown out to the wolves, but I go this is going to be awesome. I'm going to make it best. And I brought a couple friends of mine to help me put the face paint on, start learning more about the face paint, the flaming spear. We're making certain pieces. And I'm Bob Long. Love that guy.
Yeah, Bob.
These are awesome. He created these here. These are the obsidian clubs that they used in battle. You meet so many cool people, and he started making these. And this was made by my friend, Felipe Arangal that who made that uniform there. You know, that headdress is from 2002.
Wow.
The uniform that I'm wearing now is from 1992.
Okay.
The first uniform that I had made in Mexico. So
Yeah.
going back in time,
Legit.
I came 1990, played the role 1, 2 came. I went to Mexico. I had to go to LA to get the materials,
Mhm.
and I would take it to the border and I would hand it off to him. And Carlos Alacon, he's the one that introduced the conch shell in 1992.
Okay.
So I mean, I raised all the money to basically have all this created, and raise money by selling posters. So I sold sponsorship on posters. So that's how San Diego State paid me. They didn't have to come out of their own pockets even.
Gotcha.
So I was just doing it for exposure for those people that were supporting San Diego State and me as a Warrior, and they just fell in love with them. So whatever I need from those guys, call them. Hey, I need this. Done. So we're really excited for what's coming right now. We have a pretty big meeting next week with some amazing Aztecs that can really change what the Aztec Warrior Foundation is doing, and really excited with that right now. So it's going to be amazing for the student. And if that's the case, then we will be able to have enough and more, you know, to up the scholarship, or maybe we do have the guy and the girl immediately. We just need to find them. So I appreciate you getting the word out there, and all of our friends that are watching here on your Sons of Montezuma podcast. Talk to your friends, get the word out there. We're looking for the new Aztec Warrior. We're looking for the Aztec Warriorette. That would be awesome.
Let's do it. Carlos, let's do this again, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brother.
Right.
Keep it up. Go Aztecs for life.